Welcome to another episode of Just Business Talk. Our today's guest is someone who left the corporate job during the pandemic in banking and started a company which helps entrepreneurs start their businesses and hold up their growth stage. So I'm happy to have our very special guest today with us, Hemant Katyal. Thank you very much for joining us. So Hemant, tell us about your transition from corporate banking to entrepreneurship. What sparked the change and how did that happen?
Well, but when I came to UAE, I first landed up in a corporate banking job in one of the leading banks in UAE. So I was taking care of a lot of things related to corporate banking, retail banking, and investment banking as well.
Right.
And I saw a big gap in the market at that time, which was related to banking. I mean, businesses get set up easily, but when it comes to real business with banking and taxation, it was a real hassle. So we started DhanGuard with core vision, which is DhanGuard Banking Consultant. So that was the tipping point where I see a lot of gap in the market. So I transitioned again into entrepreneurship from corporate banking to banking consulting company.
Right. So what does it mean, DhanGuard? So what does it stand for?
Well, as I'm a banker, the company has ethos of finance itself. So Dhan in Sanskrit means money.
Okay.
And guard is of course safeguarding. So it's money guard.
So DhanGuard, yeah.
Yes,
money
it's
guard.
money
Okay.
guard. So the core ethos of the company is about finances.
Yeah, nice thought. Yeah, so you must have thought a lot.
Yeah. A lot of
Choosing the
thoughts.
name, yeah.
A lot of thoughts
So-
because it's your name, it's your identity.
Yeah.
So we took a lot of time,
Right.
researched it well in every
Right.
possible manner. Then we came up with this.
Amazing. So looking back to 2020, founding a business during pandemic, founding a business, any case is a big risk, especially if you're leaving your corporate job. So what was the mental shift like you had to make and adjust yourself?
Well, in terms of mental shift, I would say when you're working and you can see that you're not adding value to the life and to yourself, that is the first thing which transitions. Okay, there is a gap, but when you see that you're not adding value to yourself as well, there I saw that it was again, I need to do something better, and there was a gap in the market. So I clearly took out time, researched it well, and we started with the company. I never thought that pandemic is going to come. So we started in Feb and the pandemic came in March. But I don't think so it changed anything.
Yeah.
We were very clear with the mind, no matter what happens, we'll keep on going. So in March when we started the office, it just closed down and we are paying the rents and
Right.
doing all the expenses which are there. But again, the vision was clear. Okay, if the world is closed but the virtual is open,
Yeah.
so literally I took up the team and I said, let's do the calls on Zoom.
Yeah.
And we were doing fine. We were having meetings on Zoom. People were fine. And I don't know, it somewhere I even felt that it is not going to end. This COVID is not going to end. Many of us felt.
Yeah, it's going to be forever.
Yeah, because it was continuously getting, they said 1 month, then 2
Yeah.
months. So March, April, May. When it came to June, I just told the team, now there is no point of cribbing or feeling that this COVID is going to end. Let's suppose the world is virtual now and give our best shot. So I started creating processes, trainings that we are going to be virtual only.
Forever, yeah.
Yeah, so that I kept in mind.
Yeah, I think this is a really important point what you mentioned. The company which are founded during COVID or after COVID, they are very well placed to grow in the future. Now with the AI and all the the new way of working, the companies before they were not very much adaptive, working in the new norms. So I think that worked it out in your way, that you started in the right time. So mention seeing a gap in the market that led you to find DhanGuard. So what exactly was the gap and how did you go about filling it?
Well, as a banker, when I see and it was very clear that the license in any country, I won't say about UAE only, the process is very, very lenient, especially in 2020. Till date also it's lenient that you will get license with a passport copy and a passport size picture.
Right.
But when it comes to banking, then you are asked for so many documents with a lengthy process. And because you are not resident of this country, it becomes more difficult for you because there is no central KYC from the country which we come from. There is a lot of documentation which you do from the day you are born.
Yes.
But here you are coming as an expat and sharing somewhere your documents from your home country does not gives you that level of comfort because again you're new to this country.
Yes.
So the process is lengthy, difficult. So I saw that if we scale this, if we get into the market, work with government agencies and some of the biggest names of the international markets, we can help their customers to open bank accounts and easily. And it worked very well because we created processes, calculators, systems through which we were able to open account much easier. We were creating databases of the customers where if they come back again for a second or third bank account, they don't need to do that again. So basically we were doing the heavy lifting of managing the KYC, documents, databases and helping them in a smoother banking process.
Right. Okay. So how the DhanGuard is placed? Do you have a partner in the company, or you're the only founder?
Well, Jyoti is the CEO of the company. She leads the vision.
Okay.
I take care of the operations.
Right.
And DhanGuard is a group of companies now.
Yeah.
We started corely with banking consulting. Worked very well for next 1 or 2 years. Then we saw a major gap than that. Because when as a banker or a banking consulting company, any customer is coming to you for helping in finance of banking or any other loan or investment finance, we saw that the way he landed in the country was wrong. Then how his business was set up was even wrong. So every time I had to go back to my partner who was referring me clients that you are doing this wrong. You are doing this wrong. Major mistakes in terms of taxation, in terms of banking, not understanding complete profile of the customers, but just letting him open the license. Then we decided now it's the time that we have to enter into the business setup. And when literally, I don't want to mention this, but it's really the truth that business setup is much more easier than banking. So as I said, the documentation are fairly easy. So we started and it boomed up because we had a very trustable base of banking customers already. People knew about our skill and knowledge. And ultimate goal was to set up the business and really have banking, taxation and do the business, not having license.
Yeah.
So we were doing already the bottom line. So doing the top line was much easier for us. And with business setup came taxation as well.
Right. So in banking services, you also arrange corporate loans and business loans and stuff like that as well, or just opening bank accounts?
No. So as we said, it's corporate banking. We do everything.
Okay.
So bank account is just the starting point of it.
Okay.
We help with working capital, trade finances, investments. So everything in banking space, even if it is unsecured loan, we help with everything depending on what client needs or what we can make him pursue as well. Project financing. So if you're going to have a building, you're going to build something. So we help with project financing. We help with bank guarantees. Everything in banking space to really work around with your business, not just getting license.
Great. Here I want to ask you, it's good that we mentioned on the financial part. So I buy and sell companies, we do merger acquisitions. So is there any banking product available in UAE which you can take to acquire a business? There are such any bank loans? If someone wants to buy a running business, so they can finance that acquisition?
Well, there are two ways. I'll get more information from you, but the first thing, and this would be the first product which can be useful in this, that yes, you can take business loan on your existing company.
That's the seller, basically.
No, I'm not putting for now seller or buyer in space. I'm saying if I'm a business owner and I want to acquire a new company, I can take loan on my existing company credibility. Not saying that I'm going to acquire.
So you need to have a company already set up in Dubai.
Yes. So you have to have a credibility.
Someone who's just coming into the country?
No. You have to have a credibility.
Okay.
If you're buying a business or mortgage, or you're even putting a property, taking loan against property, you have to have a credibility. So acquiring is possible if you have an existing business to prove that it's already running. Now I'm expanding, you can definitely take a loan. And to accommodate this process, a lot of people don't know about this, that even if you avail a loan and you are going into an M&A transaction, you cannot really trust buyer and seller. Okay, I mean, even if you can trust, you don't run business on trust, you run business on process. So we help with escrow accounts as well, in which buyer and seller will combinedly work together, as we all know about how escrow works. So we help in escrow services as well, where the M&A transactions go very smoothly, and you have literally a third party where you can trust upon.
Yes, that's good. And this escrow services provided by a regulated company or bank?
Yes.
Okay.
So it is bank, regulated company, commercial escrow agents, lawyers, depending what exactly is the transaction about. If it requires lawyers working closely, so we work together with law firm. But if it is a pretty straightforward M&A, then we would directly align with an escrow agent.
Okay. So now in DhanGuard you have banking, that's your, and then you have company formation and services, and then also you have business co-working spaces as well, right? So tell us about that. Where are the locations and what is the business model?
So the group companies of DhanGuard, as we mentioned, is banking, business setup, and taxation as well. So we help with international taxation, in which major is India and UAE. So we have an office in India as well, in Delhi capital. So we have a bunch of CAs working with us and some tax agents, through which we help people from India to move to UAE in the most legal way, with utmost low taxation. And then UAE, we have a team as well which helps with all the processes related to VAT, CT, audit, everything. The last baby of DhanGuard is DhanGuard co-working spaces. So we have our first location in Burjuman, which is next to Burjuman Mall, and it's a well-known building. People like it there. So we have one location there. We have
Burjuman Tower, right?
No, not Burjuman Tower. That's in the mall.
Okay.
This is next to Burjuman Mall. It's in the Bank Street, next to Bank Street building. So it's an open place, a very old building, a prominent building, old City Bank. If I could mention, a lot of people in UAE would be able to connect. And then we have a new location, which is again in next to Wafi Mall in Healthcare City. There we have also a new location.
Okay, great. So you got into this just recently, ventured into the co-working area, which is growing, by the way, in UAE. We've sold few businesses similar to this space.
It's not recent. Our Burjuman space is more than 2.5 years old now. The DHCC one is approximately 1 year old. And we have close to 500 companies operating in our space, with more than 600 to 700 sitting. So it's a community basically. I don't say it is a business center. I take inspiration from the co-working spaces in India. We were born also in a co-working space as DhanGuard. So I understand the value of it. I understand what was missing in these co-working spaces. And I still believe that UAE co-working spaces has a long way to go to be really recognized as a co-working spaces. If you go back to India or some other countries, I really see that co-working spaces are not meant to give you a square foot area. It is meant to give you a networking space where people and businesses can really thrive. And I still see a lot of people are doing business centers just like a passive landlord. But at DBC, at DhanGuard, we make sure and we have built the space, the center, to be a networking community. So we have our own event rooms, we have podcast rooms, we have small meeting pods, Zoom meeting rooms. Every week or maximum in 2 weeks, we have some workshops, some nice workshop. We call parents in the spaces as well. So we try to build communities. We have best of the best event companies working with us. BNI used to be held in DhanGuard. Toastmaster still is having space in UAE and DBC. So some of the best networking companies also like to come at DBC. We have built in that way.
Amazing, great. So let's talk about mistakes and learnings from the, often people take it the entrepreneurship is all about successes. So we have talked about your successes. You started with banking, you've done great, you've ventured into company formation, now the co-working. It looks everything perfect, rosy. But now tell us about some of the mistakes and learning as you go. Was there any one moment that really taught you a lesson the hard way you would like to share with us today?
Well, as an entrepreneur, every day you do mistakes.
Yeah.
I see a lot of mistakes. And sometimes when I'm sitting with my team, I tell them one nice thing about Jeff Bezos. So a lot of us as founders, we take inspiration from people like Jeff Bezos or Jack Ma. So we take their books, we read their biographies, and we think we can build a company. I mean, if Amazon founder or Steve Jobs has written a book, even if I read that book 300 times a day, 365 days, still I'll not be able to build Amazon, because he cannot literally write all the mistakes in that book. Every day an entrepreneur takes 100 to 200 decisions, which are so small, which look small but has a bigger picture to it. Even if it is improving 1%, it takes a company to a whole new level. So there has been a lot of mistakes that happen every day. But the best part of a good company, I feel, is that you improve your mistakes, admit those mistakes, and correct in a very short time of frame. So one of the mistakes which we did is to venture out in different things as well. So like insurance. So investment is core to us, but we tried to get into insurance as well, corely because we want to help customers in every possible sense. But then we saw that it is taking a lot of time, and we are, rather than getting good feedback, we were getting bad feedback on insurance. So we stopped that, and I learned the hard way that I cannot be doing everything to just serve the customers. I have to focus on what we can deliver to the customers.
You cannot say yes all the time to the
Yes.
customer. And what would you say the scariest and the most rewarding moment since you started DhanGuard?
Scariest moment? Well, there are a lot, and we are just taking inspirations from them. Maybe booming your marketing budget to a level and feeling that your sales will also be rationally increased. But it is not happening in that way. Even if you spend a lot on ads compared to your previous month, don't expect that your sales also will going to increase. And that's where I say that business is not about profits at all. Business is about cash flow.
Yes.
So if you can manage the cash flow in the right way, then it's the right thing.
So it's not about sales, basically. It doesn't matter how you grow the sales, it's about the cash flow.
Yes.
So you need to balance both.
Yes. So if your marketing is funding your sales 200%, then you're negative cash flow. So you have to figure out your cash flow. Even if you're doing 100 sales with 20% of marketing budget, that is more important rather than spending 200 and then leading 100 dirhams in sales.
Great. And now let's come to the actual business setup, the landscape in UAE. So where people often get, it's very confusing, mainland, free zone, this and that. So what are some of the common pitfalls people run into when setting up a business in UAE?
Well, there are many pitfalls when you're starting a company. I believe that this landscape is changing a lot since last 1 year, and this year is going to be a game changer for corporate service providers or business setup, because this time it's not about license, this time it's about taxation. So when we started, it was all about banking primarily, because you will get license but you will not get banking. Now in 2025, it will be about banking plus taxation as well. So the common pitfalls at that time was that, are you really doing this business or you're just adding activity in the license? So if you go to a corporate service provider or you look at some ads on the Google, you will say get 5 business activities in just 5,999 dirhams. I have never put 5 business activities, 3 business. I mean, what? Are you really selling business or licenses? When a customer is coming to me, I would understand what you really want to do. Do you have the experience of doing it? Do you have the background? What's your cash flow? What is your 3-year goal? Then we would suggest, okay, go for only this business. And on the contrary, you see people who are just pushing away the activities. And then it creates an issue in the banking as well, because when you put too many things on your license, how come the bank would understand what exactly you are going to do?
What's your business model is?
When your first step, you are being confused by corporate service providers, just take the license with so many activities. How come you are destined to really grow this business? So that is the biggest mistake, putting so many activities in your license just because it's for free. Not everything for free is good. So that mistake I would say. Then the second mistake I would say, even if you're putting one activity, you are putting that just because it's trending in the market. So you are going for a license or business activity just because you saw in the market a lot of people making a lot of money. But you should not be doing that. You should be opening a business which you are very good at it. Really very good at it, and you have the experience to do it. A lot of times people would sit at me and say, let's do it, real estate, big ticket size, this and that. And I always tell team as well, when there is a gold rush, don't go for the gold. Go for the shovels. The people who literally make money is sitting outside and watching the drama which is happening in the stadium. So go for your expertise, literally see how you can serve this market. How can you scale up to it, not just doing that 1 or 2 transactions. So that should be a goal. Then third, I would say that focus on your cash flow, which I mentioned earlier as well. And for the people who are coming from outside the country, who are not residents of UAE and going to take visa and then stay for some time, focus on the taxation as well. It is going to be the most important thing in next coming 5 years. That how do you take care of your taxation? Every country in the world would try to stop you to escape from their countries, be it exit tax, inheritance tax, capital gain tax, whatever you mention. So take your steps very, very carefully. Whether you are coming from UK to UAE or from India to UAE, make sure that you understand taxation very well. Oftentimes we are just Googling or chat GPT. It's good to have your basics, but to build upon it, you really need some good tax experts.
Basically, you should also look at tax planning as well as when you're starting a new company. Because especially now here you have a corporate tax. And I think personal tax would be there a few years as well.
Well, I cannot predict that, but anything which is good for the country, it should be implemented, because we're very happy about corporate tax as well.
Yeah, I think for me also, one of the biggest challenge when we have, we primarily focus on small transactions, so the bookkeeping is a big challenge. The business owners, they don't do bookkeeping, they don't, have any financial documentation and everything. And I'm also looking so much forward that maybe the corporate tax, not immediately, maybe in 3, 4, 5 years, will kind of regulate the businesses, bookkeeping, financing. So when you're selling a company, so at least you have, the proper financials of the business available. Right now, I mean, not every owner has a proper bookkeeping, even though VAT is there, and many people, they don't even file VAT.
I really feel that it should not be taken in consideration of a compliance perspective as well. If we really see as a business, we should take care of our finances. If you're a YouTuber, you check your videos, how it is going on, what are the views, when it is dropping. But when we are business owner, when we are taken for granted, we are taking our finances for granted. If we go back to India, our home country, we manage our finance quite well. But when it was coming to UAE, just because the tax was not there, we are not recording anything. So if you don't record, bookkeep, do proper audit and accounting, how would you understand where exactly are you going? So you really need to take care of that. It's not just coming in, what is coming in your bank statement and what is going out is your profits.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so what's your best advice for entrepreneurs trying to choose the right business structure? Free zone and mainland. So could you just give us a difference between these two, which is very confusing for many people? Okay, what is the difference between mainland and free zone, and what to choose and when to choose?
Well, there can be multiple reasons, but I would give it in a very layman language for all our entrepreneurs to understand. Mainland is for someone who really wants to do on-ground business. On-ground means he requires a shop or an office space where he will make a big team to sit, and his customers are actually in the city, and he is going to meet them. He is going to invoice retail customers inside the city. So definitely in that case you need mainland. You will be obliged to pay VAT, corporate tax, take office space, everything is required. But if you are a business who's just starting up and your business would be more or less virtually, and everything possible nowadays virtually, except you want to open a retail shop. E-commerce is there, which you can do virtually. You can be a YouTuber virtually. You can open an event company virtually. So literally everything is possible in free zone. And again, this country gives you an option to choose packages. When it comes to mainland, you have different procedures to renew your license, different compliances. When you go to free zone, you have to just pay a package, maybe 5,999 package or 14,000 dirhams with one visa package. You just pay that package, your license, establishment card, whatever is required is taken care by the free zone authority.
Right.
So that makes the process easy. So when you're starting up, I would always say go for a free zone. Once you have built a company of at least 10 to 20 employees and you want to work in an office space in mainland, then open a branch company or a new company in mainland. So don't get confused about your longer term perspective. We as DhanGuard also have a free zone company and mainland company both. So you can have both in longer term as well, but start with a free zone company.
Which is easier and cost effective to
Correct.
start. And I think less regulated as well at the same time, right? Okay, great. So you touched on the VAT and corporate tax. I would like to touch that point again. How has the introduction of VAT and corporate tax in UAE changed the game of small businesses?
Well, I'll come to VAT first, which was launched in 2018. It has literally changed the whole landscape of the UAE. Well, it was coming, a lot of people were cribbing about it, but today people are happy about it. A lot of businesses are happy about it because it has created a real trust in the system. The banks are really trusting the businesses to lend them easily by checking their VAT filing, and the businesses are more than happy to pay it when it comes to bookkeeping as well. You have the credibility when new investors are coming in. This country was not known for startups, unicorns, fundraising and all, but now it is coming up. How would an investor trust you when you don't have your bookkeeping? Well, you're filing for VAT properly, you're maintaining everything in your system, then the investor is going to trust you.
Correct.
So VAT filing, I believe, has changed the whole landscape of lending, fundraising, investing in UAE. And it has not at all literally put up the businesses in any trouble situation. 5% VAT is the lowest in the world. It does not hit you at all compared to many other countries where minimum VAT starts from 15% depending on what goods and services you are selling.
Also, you are very much big on digitalization and all this. So how are you using the new tech, especially AI, in your business, and what do you see how the AI is gonna change how you operate businesses in the future?
Well, I'm a big time techie. I am passed out as a software engineer as well, and I have literally done my ventures in startup in tech space as well before coming to UAE. So I'm a big lover of technology, and when it comes to DhanGuard, no company can scale without technology. If you want to better serve your clients, you have to have technology. If you better want to serve your team, you better have a technology. If you want to better serve your own company to scale it up, you have to have a technology. And DhanGuard from day one, the first goal was to have a great technology in every space, be it managing the day-to-day operations, customers, team, everything. So we use technology as core of us. When it comes to AI, I see that as a positive thing coming future. Not saying that it will take your job. I believe that there has been evolution of technologies. We used to be on bullock carts. We never had cars. That was also a technology which took away a lot of animals away. In terms of brutality which we were taking care, the way we were living our lives. So if that technology helped us, then Google came in the picture is also a technology. We were able to search. We have different ways we are able to connect, be it Zoom, be it Microsoft, whatever it is, which made us literally skill up. So I see AI is taking up small things which as professionals we were doing, and it is not productive enough for us, be it writing email, brainstorming. More data is available with AI which gives us more refined result. So AI is going to be the future and it is not going to take up the jobs. When it comes to DhanGuard, we are integrating AI first of all to research more because it has a lot of database which takes a lot of time for any content writers in the team or researchers to bring up. So we take care in terms of research. Then we are using AI to serve the customers in a easier way. like having call center AI, where we are giving a lot of data, a knowledge base to the AI agent, and then he's able to call customers himself, message customers himself. Then we are using AI in terms of inbound calls as well, where if it is normal queries, the AI is able to answer them very easily. It is taking time to train the AI, but again, the efficiency of AI is much more better when it comes to non-working hours, or it is about answering the customers in a very low time, which if some person is answering would take up time. So yeah, we are using AI in every possible aspect in DhanGuard. So many were there because the speed of answering is the most important thing.
Correct.
And right now
and also the accuracy.
Yes, accuracy and the speed both are the most important thing. So when it comes to the consumers of real world today, they want everything fast. So if AI is taking time and it is not accurate, people are not going to use it. Chat GPT is able to answer accurately and it's very fast. When it comes to sales, AI agents still they are developing. They are still not able to transcript, then run the engine behind and then answer it. Is taking time. So once it is developed enough, I think we'll be.
Do you have an AI cost calculator or no in DhanGuard?
We don't have AI cost calculator because still it's a very straightforward process. You need some data answers for that. But sales agent AI we have, where if you ask all your queries related to business setup, taxation, he'll be able to answer.
On the chat?
Not the chat, it's on the call.
Oh, it's on the call.
Yeah.
Okay, so the voice agent.
Yes,
basically.
yes.
So inbound call.
Yes,
so someone calls it and then it can answer. Also.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
So you don't have it on a chat or WhatsApp?
No, because I think when it is again chat, it has to be either a WhatsApp chat. Nobody is going to go on a different platform, search for answers, search for cost. Either it has to be WhatsApp where we will be able to answer, or getting answers on the voice, because people are still calling or WhatsApping rather than going on a different platform or searching for it.
Right. Okay, so let's come to what's one thing you wish you knew before you launching your business?
One thing I knew, I think again that same thing, that how do you focus? So focus is everything. You really need to go into deep of whatever you are doing. If you are into banking, you should be enough deep possible to really make it work, to really create value. So what we call in technical language niche, know your niche, and then building on it. So that was rather than transitioning on anything and everything, focus. So we built banking core and we really mastered it. Then we went into business setup. Then we knew everything about it and related to taxation as well. Then we built co-working. So this is the way we will be going forward as well. That really doing best, mastering it, what we are doing is the mission.
Okay, so what's next for DhanGuard? So where do you see it in next 5 years?
Well, I see DhanGuard as core platform for all the business owners to manage their finances, which was the first vision of the company as well, and we are still sticking it to it. Our goal would be to deal with business owners with their finances, with their companies, and when it comes to the current value of DhanGuard is the same as well. With banking, we are able to help them all. With business setup, we are able to help them all. With taxation, again, it's the core with the business setup. And then co-working spaces where you come and work. So it's a thriving community as well.
Right.
So basically helping businesses and business owners in relation to the finances and running their companies in the best possible way.
Okay, so basically you have accounting or taxation, the core of your service, and then the rest everything is the ecosystem or around it.
Yes.
So the main company is not a company formation, it's basically a company which manages the finances of the business, and then the rest everything comes within it, right?
Correct.
So that's a great vision. That's a great vision, I think. So what excites you the most about the future of entrepreneurship in UAE in coming years?
Well, I really want to see UAE thriving in terms of startups building unicorns. So I was just reading from His Highness Sheikh Mohammed about the startups and the unicorns which has come in last few years, namely Kareem is there, Noon is there. So in this space, in this UAE, we have not seen that many unicorns which we see in Silicon Valley, we see in Singapore, Hong Kong, China, and even India, which are bringing every year 50 to 100 new unicorns. So I want to see some of the unicorns coming from UAE because we also want to get into that mode, getting investments and making this country and the whole GCC the new EU of the world, and bringing a lot of unicorns to the country.
Yeah, and I feel the same. I think UAE needs at least also to make the economy sustainable, at least 20 unicorns in the next 10 years.
For sure.
So in order
I see 20 unicorns in next 3 years maximum.
Really?
Because
where are they? I don't think so.
No, it is going to come, because if we really want to sustain, then unicorns have to come every year.
I can think of only 2-3 companies on my top of my head which has the potential to become unicorns, who raised recently funding, because I keep in touch, because that's my field.
A different perspective of seeing UAE is that in our countries we don't see state-owned companies becoming unicorns. But I see UAE is a country where you will see government companies itself becoming unicorns.
Then yes, of course. Then it's more than that. But I'm talking about purely in a startup space, not of.
This country is running as a private government. We all know that, and it's thriving like that.
Then of course, then more than 20 will be in 3 years. Yes, a lot of stock market listing and all that coming in. All right. So where can our listeners find out about you and DhanGuard, and if they want to get in touch with you for any advice, company formation or accounting, bookkeeping, how can they get in touch with you?
Well, we are everywhere. So you can reach out to us on DhanGuard website. We have our own YouTube channels where we share a lot of knowledge for specific countries. We have office in India as well, which is capital of India. If you are an Indian and if you want to visit our office, you want to reach out to Indian team to get knowledge perspective from India to UAE, then you have option there. We have our own offices, private offices in Burjman as well, where you can reach out to us. And all the digital channels, we have our dedicated customer care where you can reach out, WhatsApp, anywhere. We are available there to serve you better.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. This is Tahir signing off from our today's podcast. Follow my YouTube channel or listen to my podcast on Spotify, and see you next time.